Hey guys, it's Stardust87 here, and today I'm bringing you a new type of videos that I'm going to be releasing every few days now. Basically, what I'm going to do, I am going to discuss the Pale Moon cards by grades. So everything that's not in my deck is basically in this folder for Pale Moon, and I would have to say that seeing all the comments and things like that people have asked about, I've noticed a few people get a little bit confused about some cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to go through them grade by grade, make separate videos for each grade, and then I'm going to make a new one for my deck. The deck one though will be an extended one due to obviously having all the grades in it. So I will probably make the video based on the deck itself, so that'll be a bit longer. But for this video I'm going to start with the grade 0s, and then the next video will be grade 1s, then another video for grade 2s, and then finally videos for grade 3s. I hope you guys find it helpful. If you find it that it's a bit, just let me know. I'll try and see if I can improve it. I do plan on getting a proper video camera, or camcorder should I say, to record videos at some point, but for now I'm just going to keep to this camera. So anyway, let's open this up. Right. 3 starters I believe that are out at the moment are these 3. These are the only 3. You've got obviously the Hades Ringmaster. Hades Ringmaster, it's an okay starter. It's only got one effect, which is basically Soul Charge 1 when you ride a Pale Moon over it. If you're playing a build where you want to Soul Charge a lot, it can be more useful than the others, but it depends. It depends really on whether or not you want to do a lot of soul charging, because that guy can be useful when it comes to like an early soul charge, because it means, especially if you ride the Skull Juggler on top of it, it means you can soul charge 2, which is nice if you're running that sort of deck. But otherwise, it's not really thing. I haven't used it personally because I've never played around the soul building. I've only played with the aggro style, so I've never used it personally. Innocent Magician's 4k with starter, and it's just one of those where if you ride on top of it with a Pale Moon, you can call it to rearguard, and then you've got the Can't Boss 1, add it to the soul to search the top 5 cards of your deck for a grade 3 or higher. If you do have one, you can just take it. If you don't get one, then oh well. The one thing I would say about this guy compared to every other deck, but everybody should know about this one if you play Pale Moon, you can reuse it. Due to the fact that Pale Moon have got the ability to call things out of the soul constantly, it makes it usable. I thought they would have made that into a drop, to be fair, because by putting it into a drop it doesn't mean that you can use it more than once, but by making it usable more than once, you can basically run a deck low on grade 3s if you wanted to, and just try and use that to search for it. So, you can do that. If you don't like running a lot of grade 3s, you can run 6 and just use that. But other than that, there's not a lot more uses to it. I mean, grade 3s, in my deck I run 7, and I'd have to admit sometimes I do struggle for the grade 3. However, most of the time with the amount of draw I have in my deck, I do tend to get the cards I need when I need them. So, I don't use that card. I've tried it, but it wasn't as good. The Girl Who Crossed the Gap is by far the best at the moment. She's the one I use as well. She's got a skill, of course, again, when you ride a Pale Moon over it, you can move it to the rear guard, but her other skill is basically a Can't Boss 1 added to the soul to call anything from the soul. Doesn't matter if it's a higher grade than what your Vanguard is, you can call whatever you want. There's some fun loops. I don't know if you guys saw my European semi-final when I did the loop successfully finally, but basically there's a loop with having a trapezist in the soul and a trapezist on the field, and have Go Across the Gap on the field as well. You can just counter blast and loop around. I think the highest I've had Liquia at is about 55, I think, but that was a combination of that with the crits. The critical triggers, obviously, that you can send to the soul to gain 3k. But that was just funny. I just did it for fun, beat on anything. But yeah. But at the moment, best card. There are 1 or 2 starters coming out soon, which I really like. Lark Pigeon's one of them. That's going to be in comic style. and then Smiling Presenter, I believe is the name of the one, set 9, and I think I'll be moving to that in place of this. If you look at the set 9 discussions, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, the rest of the grade 0s are all triggers. You got your heals and your stand there, no effect on them. I believe the ones that are meant to be here may have been Dynamite Juggler, which are the crit triggers. Again, it's the same thing, 5k, no effect. Draw trigger, the critical trigger there, that gains, you send it to the soul to gain 3k. I use it a lot, and apparently people seem to criticise me sometimes for using it, but I don't see why it should be criticised, because it can come back out. I mean, there's a nice little loop which I'll probably show in a combination video at some point, where you can constantly use that guy's effect every turn, and to be fair, 3k can make the difference. So to be able to call it out every turn to gain 3k for anything, any unit on your field, is pretty nice. So I don't see why people hate it. If you ask why I'm not I've got only one of these. Yeah, I prefer that heal trigger, to be honest. And there's only a few more here now. That's another draw trigger. I don't remember what's meant to be there. May have left that as a gap actually for another trigger that's kind of out. But Ray Magician, that draw trigger I like. Basically, if you have it as your, if it boosts and the attack hits, it doesn't have to hit a Vanguard, it just has to hit. You can soul charge 1 and return it to the deck. So again, if you run a deck based on building the soul, it's nice to be able to put a draw trigger back. So he's only 4k, but put it behind a Crimson Beast Tamer and it's 15k. Add a trigger to that, it's 20k. Midnight Invader is the same thing. 16k if you attack the Vanguard with a trigger, goes up to 21. So it gives you that increased chance of getting to that soul charge, especially if you get them early game. Sometimes I'll keep that in my opening hand if I drew it in the first part, due to the fact that I can just call it behind the Vanguard in my grade 1 and attack with it. But don't do that if you're going first, only do it if you're doing second. Otherwise just send it back to the deck straight away, because you might want to get it as a damage check. It's always nice to get the draw triggers early in the damage check. Is there anything else, I believe? No, that's the grade 1s. Right, so I'm going to end this here and I'm going to move on to the grade 1s, guys. Okay, catch you later.